Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, your host, and I just want to rant. I just really want to rant. Um, I know it's like insanely early. The game literally just ended a couple of minutes ago. I'm just so disappointed in what was displayed, honestly, tonight from Argentina, and there's a couple of factors to that, and we'll get to over it step by step. I'm gonna try to keep it as organized as I possibly can in terms of like I'm gonna try to keep my thoughts as organized as I possibly can. With everything that's been going on. But yeah, but just before we jump into it, like it was just so bad. I mean, we that was probably the worst game I think I've seen us play in a really long time, like in years, like in literal years. I think ever since the World Cup, even before the World Cup, like that before the World Cup, absolutely, that was definitely the worst game that we've ever played, um, as a nation. And it was expected that you know Colombia were gonna give it their A game, right? Like they wanted revenge from the final. They're playing at home. It was literally a sea of yellow. Like there was not a single person that didn't wear yellow that day, and it was just full. The stadium was sold out. The Colombian fans and the Colombian people treated that game like a final, and you definitely felt it in the atmosphere. But I mean, let's just go over the starting lineups first. We'll go over the goals. We'll talk about some controversy that I truly believe that happened in this game, and then we'll kind of end it. I won't keep it too long because it's just gonna be me yapping about how bad we were. But anyways, this kind of just sums it up really. But anyway, let's get into the starting 11 first. So let me pull this up for you guys. First up for Colombia, let's go to Colombia first before we go to Argentina. Vargas, it's a 4-3-3. Vargas, Mojica, Lucumi, Mosquera, Munoz, Arias, Lerma, Rios in the midfield, Diaz, Duran, and James Rodriguez up top. Um, they weren't even all that, guys. They weren't even all that. Like, genuinely speaking, like, not even me trying to hate or be biased, but Colombia didn't even play, like, well. They didn't play. Like, it was so the performance was so bang average, and like it was just there was nothing special about it from anybody, whether that was from I mean, like James was probably it was James and Luis Diaz was probably their two best players. And I think like it was their two best players. I think, and the defense was able to lock down Martinez and even something like Julian, and just basically our attacking, like every time we went up top, like they were just able to lock it down. But it just wasn't enough to get a 2-1 win, in my opinion. Um, for us, I mean, we went with this essentially the same formation um from last time, which I said we have Divo in goal, we have Licha, Otamendi, and Romero at the back three. The midfield five is Gonzalez, Fernandez, Paredes. Oh, not Paredes. Oh yeah, no, it was Paredes. McAllister didn't start. Gonzalez, Fernandez, Paredes, De Paul, and Montiel. Montiel for Molina. eh, Montiel for Molina. Paredes for McAllister. It said that he picked up like a last second knock and he wasn't available to kind of start. Like he didn't feel good to start, so he didn't want to risk it. And everything else is pretty much the same. Um, Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez as the top two. Um, Very deadly strike force, right? 100%. But it didn't feel that way, right? It didn't feel that way. I thought excuse me, not Lautaro. I thought Julian Alvarez was probably the best player on the field for us. I mean, it was between him and El Cuti. El Cuti was able to like just help us defensively, but I thought Julian was pretty much our best, our best player in terms of his movement, in terms of getting up and down the field, his passing. I mean, like the opportunities that he would give. I mean, like he had two really good opportunities in the first half, which I thought he was gonna put one away. I thought like with that momentum, with that energy, he was gonna be to score at least one time, but it just didn't work out. I honestly didn't think we did bad defensively. I mean, like we probably could have done a little bit better, especially on the first goal. I mean, like let's just in the first goal when we conceded that corner kick. Um, we were just caught sleeping. I mean, Mosquera he was just completely by himself, and he leaped really high in the air, like fair play, like he jumped really really high, but defensively we were just so it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. We just felt off. And I said it at the halftime too. If you guys were keeping up with under the community tab, I was posting it. Like I post under the community tab like if it's Twitter. So I highly recommend that you keep the notification bell on so you know like my thoughts. Because I'll just use that like if it's Twitter or something, right? But I was essentially saying that we looked very, very slow. Like we looked very slow. We looked very sluggish. It was just so not Argentina. Like it just wasn't us. It was. It could have been the Heat, right? Like we've mentioned the Heat in the preview. That the Heat would be a contributing factor. Um, I mean, off rip, Lautaro looked absolutely dead. Like he was holding his head. He was like breathing into the shirt. I mean, like everybody was just huffing and puffing, just right from the first half, right? And you can tell like that really, really affected them throughout the game because they were trying so hard, but it was just walking. They weren't pressing a lot, which I said they probably wouldn't because they didn't want to get too tired. But there was not a lot of pressing. They got easily in the second half, they were completely dead. I thought that taking off Montiel didn't do shit. Now that I'm looking at him, Montiel didn't do shit. I mean, like it was just a bang average. It was so bad. It was just so bad. It's tough. It's tough. When we gave Colombia that penalty, I thought it was completely bullshit as well. Like that was absolutely not a penalty. They were completely gifted that. You can clearly see that who was it? Luis Diaz, I think it was, or whoever the attacker was that fell to the ground. He completely jumped over Otamendi's tackle. Like there was no clear. At least I couldn't see it on my TV. Like there was just no clear like contact made. There was just no contact with the front foot with the back foot. And it's like you can clearly see that he dives. Like he just jumps and falls on the floor. And they went to VAR. They looked at it for like 2 minutes. And regardless, they gave it anyway. And it's so frustrating. It just completely that also completely changed the game. After the game, there was just a lot of complaining from the Argentinian players as well towards the referee. They immediately went to the referee because he was letting a lot of things slide. He wasn't giving a lot of yellow cards. There should have been so many more yellow cards given to either team really, but mainly to a lot of the Colombian players. They were committing fouls, they were pushing, they were shoving. They like I mean like to even to our guys, there should have been some more yellow cards given, but there just wasn't. I mean, like I understand it's very difficult to keep a game like this under control, right? And so the referee has a very difficult job, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you got to pull the cards out. I mean, like the only time I think the only yellow card that he gave to Colombia at least was when who was the striker? Let me look over. Duran. When Duran was getting subbed off in the 80th minute, he was given he was literally given or a yellow card for taking too long. He was taken off his I put it in quotes, but no, he was dead ass taking so long. He was taking off his shin guards. He was like, fixing his pants. He was taking off his shirt, like he was trying to take off his shirt. He was touching his socks. And that was the only yellow card that was given to Colombia. And then like the other yellow card was the goalkeeper, Vargas. Yeah, Vargas. Vargas was given a yellow card for time wasting like late in the fucking game. There was like 5 minutes left in the game, and then he was given a yellow card. Like, I just don't understand like why. I don't know if the referee was afraid of giving too many yellows. Like, maybe like he thought he was able to control the game without handing out yellow. I'm like, dude, fucking pop the yellow. Show the yellow cards, man. Because if not, because in my opinion, because the referee didn't show as many yellow cards as he should have, the players just took advantage of that and continued to do what they were doing the entire game, time wasting, pushing, shoving, bad tackles, like, or talking shit. Like they were giving the referee and each other a mouthful. There should have been cars for dissent. There should have been cars for unsportsmanlike conduct, but I don't know. The referee didn't do anything about it, and it's very frustrating to see that. It was a very frustrating display from Argentina in general. I really Lautaro was just completely scared to shoot. Okay, before I get to that, let me talk about Nico's goal. Nico's goal was good. I mean, like, we got that. Well, we scored that. It was 1-1 by the time we scored the equalizer, right? Yeah, Mosquera in the 25th minute, Gonzalez in the 48th, and then James scored in the 60th minute from the penalty. So, I mean, Gonzalez scored that goal. I mean, like, fair play, but I don't know, man. It was so annoying. It frustrates me how Lautaro Martinez really looked scared to shoot the ball. Like that, it's so not like him. I think he took a total of like 3 shots, and like they were all blocked, or he spent too much time on the ball. Like he had to rip that shit. He had to rip that fucking shit through the post. Like he can do it. He had to rip that shit through the net, but he was scared to do it. He was scared of shooting on his left too. Um, Especially in the second half. The second half, he definitely could have had like 2 or 3 like proper shots on goal, but like he took so long that he would just end up losing possession. And then just he gets dispossessed, or the shot gets blocked, or it's a bad. I don't know, man. It was so bad. Can I tell you the statistics? I'm gonna show you guys the statistics right here. And even though statistics don't really matter or whatever, right, in soccer and in football, but look at this. Can you guys see this? Look at this right here. 13. We had 13 shots in total. 13 total shots, 1 on target. 13 total shots, 1 on target. Colombia had 9 shots, 5 on target, 3 big chances. How out of 13 we only had 1 like proper shot on target? And guess what? That shot was the goal. That shot was Nico Gonzalez's goal. It was so frustrating how we just couldn't be threatening up top with the players that we have, with the performance that we had against Chile. Even though, yes, they're Chile, they're not good, but we could have used that momentum and used just our talented players and our very threatening, what should have been threatening front line with Julian Alvarez, with Lautaro Martinez, with McAllister, with even with Nico and De Paul. Dude, like those are attacking minded players. And we couldn't challenge the keeper once. We couldn't challenge the keeper one time. I don't know, man. It was frustrating. It was just so statistically, apparently we were a lot better. But anyways, that's I just wanted to show the one stat of having 13 shots, 1 of them being on target. Nine of them were off, and then 3 were blocked. It's just so frustrating. I mean, like the midfield seemed we couldn't penetrate through the midfield at all. They were obviously forcing us wide. Colombia were obviously forcing us wide, not letting us get or find our strikers, which is very, very smart of them. But we had no way to counter that. Like we had no possible way to be any threat anywhere on the field. Like they were forcing us wide. They were overloading ball side. Like I remember there were certain instances where we would have the ball, let's just say on the left flank, and then there would be like 6 defenders on that side, like or 7 defenders like from Colombia on that side, right? We would have the ball. Colombia has 7 defenders on that side, and then for us, we would all just be crumbled up. We would all be crumbled up in that left flank. And then like when you see that, and it's like, dude, like this is a moment where it's like, damn, like if we had Messi, like we could have somebody that could put a couple passes together, maybe create some plays, because we just didn't have anybody to do that. And it's very, very it was very, very frustrating. Like just going on the attack. We just had no threatening guys, no threatening opportunities. You guys lack playmakers. I'm trying to think of a player that we have that like could possibly be a playmaker. but I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. But like you're right. Like who is a playmaker on Argentina's team? Like Lautaro was a good play. Like he played a good playmaker last game, but like that's not essentially his role. Um, we our midfield with De Paul, McAllister, and Enzo Fernandez. None of them really like did any. Oh no, not McAllister. He didn't. Paredes. They couldn't do anything when McAllister came on. It was a little better. He looks really good on the ball. Honestly, McAllister. I really like him as a player. But McAllister could be one. And then, yeah, no. We're missing Messi. Messi's our. It's crazy how Messi is our only playmaker outside of maybe McAllister. McAllister was on the left. I mean, yeah. Um, he took a knock like really early on. I don't know if it says it anymore on FootMob, but on FootMob, like before the lineups were released, it said that he had some sort of injury. I don't know what it was, but I think if he would have started, it would have gave us more midfield like control. We would have controlled the midfield a little better. Paredes did not do the job, and De Paul honestly was kind of a ghost. To be honest, unlucky he's injured, but Ezequiel Palacios would shine in a setup, dude. And the fact that a player, I've said that in the Copa America, but he was just not given a chance. Like I personally don't understand why he's not. Dude, he was the best midfielder in the world last season. Or at least arguably, like one of the best midfielders performance wise, like in the world. He was putting up outstanding performances for Bayer Leverkusen. In the Bundesliga, in the Europa League, um, in the Pokal or whatever other cup it was. Like he was putting out outstanding performances, and he deserved to get minutes for the Argentinian national team over at the time over Enzo Fernandez, 100 at least Enzo Fernandez. I mean, McAllister and DePaul probably they would keep their spot right, but with Palacios, I feel like Palacios earned a start, and he is. Yeah, I don't even think he's been called up. Instead, we called up some of the kids who don't even make it to the bench. Um, they get left out at the bench, and it's just really annoying. I mean, I thought somebody maybe like Garnacho probably could have served us justice in the second half, like maybe with his pace, and his kind of like cockiness. I think he probably would have got a couple of shots off. Messi is at the end of his career. They should really start moving on from him. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean they're not really relying on Messi, but they need to look for somebody who can be a creator, like a playmaker. Somebody needs to take up the role of playmaker in this team. I don't care who it is, as long as they can do it freaking like as long as they can do it well. It doesn't make it just really sucks. I wish Dybala got earlier or got onto the field earlier. Um I understand why Lo Celso came on, but I really wish we had Palacios. I would take Palacios over Lo Celso, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, like this is just me like ranting and stuff, right? Like it is a post reaction stream. Like this is not supposed to be like super like in depth or analytical. This is just me like pure raw emotion, pure raw thoughts. Like as soon as the game's over. Um, but yeah, I mean like, but just to summarize everything, we played bad. It was just nowhere near the level of expectations that Argentina have been playing this entire time, like for the last couple of years. Um, and this is the first time, or this is the second time now that we've seen a team without Messi and now without Di Maria. Now that he's retired, and yeah, it's really not that I'm not like this is not the end of the world at all, right? Like this loss is not the end of the world. And I understand that everything was kind of against us in terms of weather, in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of game management from the referees. Like it was definitely against us. The penalty was against us 100%. But Um, when you look at the bigger picture, right? Like putting the result aside and putting the performance aside, like you have to we have to find somebody that can create goals, create opportunities in front of net. Because we can't have players like Paredes, for example, or even like Montiel and like um who else was playing up there? I mean, like Acuna got subbed on later in the game. He didn't do shit off the bench, to be honest. But I don't know. We need more. We need more creative-minded players. Because yeah, putting three past Chile is fine. Like that's easy. Chile are not a good team. Colombia, like you have to be able to put the good performances past the teams like Colombia, like Uruguay, like Brazil. But yeah. So hopefully this is just a very minor setback, and when it comes down to, I mean, the rest of the qualification games next month, in November, and even in next year, we'll just do a lot better. For next month qualifying games, I think we have Venezuela. I think we have it pretty easy next month. Yeah, we have Venezuela away, and then we have Bolivia at home. Thank God. Bolivia away would have been hard, but yeah, in October we have those two games, so it should be a lot easier, right? In November we have Paraguay. Let me just show you guys this while I'm here. In November we have Paraguay away, Peru at home. And then March is where it gets difficult here. March of next year, we have Uruguay away and Brazil at home. This is going to be crazy. And then we end off the World Cup qualifying with with Chile away. It's crazy. March is going to be crazy. March is going to be insanely crazy. Hello, everyone. Sick of Otamendi. The ball cannot do one pass right. I understand why Otamendi played. He is literally like the only captain on our team. Like I don't know who would be the captain if it's not Otamendi. Like maybe the ball or something. I try to figure that out in the preview. He is a captain. He's the leader of a team. He didn't do bad. Besides the fact that he gave away a penalty, but I don't blame that on him because, in my opinion, that just was not a penalty. Um, the ball was like I mentioned it right before you joined. I'm pretty sure I said the ball was a complete ghost, and he didn't really do much, which is normally not like him. He's normally like an engine. He gets up and down the field. He's able to put a couple of passes together. He gets the opponents all riled up, and he's normally not like that. But yeah, I think overall, like nobody really had a good game. Like I said, the best player I thought on the field was Julian and El Guti Romero. Those are the two best players, in my opinion, that played for us. And even then, not everybody had good games. So this is definitely a game to forget. This is definitely a game to just kind of move on from. We learn from it and then move on, and then hopefully just kind of pick it up in next month. Take advantage of the fact that we have these like lower tier nations. No disrespect to these other nations, but Argentina should be beating the likes of Bolivia at home. Venezuela away could be a little more difficult, but Paraguay and Peru should be easier. Peru being one of the worst nations in the table in the CONMEBOL this year, or in this in these qualification matches. But yeah, so hopefully, because we have to prepare for March. March is where the big boys come in with Uruguay and Brazil, and then Chile to finish it in June. So yeah, this is just kind of a game that we can hopefully learn from and move on. The problem is that against good teams, you can see the mistakes they always make. Yeah. So and yeah, we just mentioned it's performances against teams like Uruguay, Colombia, Brazil. Um, that's where it matters the most, and you can clearly see like what the issue was. I mean, like I said, there were many different factors. Like you can probably blame excuses on like the weather and blame like the excuses of like the atmosphere of how it was just full of Colombian fans, and like Argentina were literally dead the entire 90 minutes. But but yeah, it just wasn't good, and so we'll just have to look forward for next time. But yeah, guys, do you guys have any final thoughts before we wrap up? Like I said, post game reaction. It's not really much to it because if I keep going, I'm just gonna start repeating myself, and I don't want to do that because I felt like I already have a couple of times. Otamendi is a player for games against Peru, Chile, Bolivia, not fast teams like Colombia, Uruguay, etc. He was looking pretty fast. I mean, in certain moments he would track back quite a bit, but I understand what you mean. I think El Cuti and Lisandro are our best center backs, and having somebody like Tagliafico would have been nice at the left back role. Um, I mean, I don't even mind like Nico Gonzalez at that left back role either, but I don't know. That kind of depends. Acuna, you could say. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. We're gonna learn from this and move on. I appreciate you guys for being here, and just kind of listening to me rant and giving me your thoughts, and things like that. I know it's only been 30 minutes, but like I said, I'm just literally going to repeat myself if I keep going. Um, I'll be live on Wednesday. I'm gonna be yeah. Today is oh shoot. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be live tomorrow for an Inter Miami preview against Philly. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's gonna be live. I believe I set it to 7. I think it's 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. And yeah, appreciate you guys for being here. We're gonna learn and forget, all right, and move on. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your night, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys.